What if the monster you fear the most isn't the one that lurks in the shadows or hides under your bed? What if it's something far worse? Something that lives inside of you. Imagine falling asleep one night, a person, and waking up the next morning with blood on your hands, blood on your clothes, surrounded by absolute devastation and no memory of the beast you've become. This is the primal fear of the werewolf. It's not just a monster you face head on. It's a monster you might be and might be inside of you. Welcome back to PheelsBad Lore, the show that dissects the anatomy of your nightmares. Today we're sinking our teeth into one of humanity's oldest and most relentless fears, the lycanthropin, the wolfman, the werewolf. Let's get started on its origin and its folklore. The idea of humans transforming into wolves is older than cinema. Older even than written language itself, with one of the earliest tales is the Epic Tale of Gilgamesh, tells of a goddess, Ishtar, who transforms a shepherd into a wolf as punishment for his love. Forever hunted by his own dogs, the shepherd is cursed, forever lost between man and beast. This divine punishment echoes again in Greek mythology in the tale of King Lycaon of Arcadia. To test the omniscience of Zeus, Lycaon murdered his own son and served him to the god for dinner. Zeus, outraged by the sacrilege, cursed Lycaon and his sons, transforming them in wolves, and that's where the word lycanthropin comes from. The curse of the werewolf comes from his own name, and therefore has cemented itself in history for all eternity. Lesser known history about werewolves is actually that they were hunted, and there were even trials held to kill those believed to be werewolves. As Europe entered the Dark Age, the myth of the werewolf evolved. The wolfman was no longer just a victim of divine wrath, but it became a servant of the devil himself. During the witch hunts of the 15th and 17th centuries, werewolf trials were actually disturbingly common. Perhaps the most famous case was that of Peter Stumpp, the Wolf of Bedburg. In 1589, Stumpp confessed to practicing black magic since a young age of 12, claiming the devil had come to him at night, giving him a magic belt which could turn him into a wolf. His crimes were severely brutal. For decades, he murdered and cannibalized everyone within the local community. Stumpp was later executed after being caught in one of the most gruesome ways possible. His story then cemented itself in werewolves forever, the demonic threat that walks amongst us. So now that we know the origins and the history of werewolf, what exactly is this creature? The creature has taken many forms over time, but at its core, its terror remained unchanged. Early folklore didn't actually describe a hybrid monster, but simply a man who could transform into a large, cunning, deadly wolf. It was later popularized through culture, through media, that gave it its iconic wolfman appearance, a bipedal monster painfully tortured between human and animal form. This version truly captures the true body horror of its transformation: bones snapping, skin stretching, flesh twisting painfully in some gruesome manner. Through that, it symbolizes that the person that is a werewolf is truly cursed. Some of the best werewolf transformation has to be between Hemlock Grove and Wolfman, but Hemlock Grove takes the cake for being gruesome, and the end of the transformation, oh, that's horrific. I highly suggest watching it. But we'll leave a top 5 transformation video for the future. Anyway, back to the main topic. Regardless of its forms, the abilities are always constant. It's got a massive strength, the power to tear a person limb from limb, speed and agility that defines humans. Some even has a faster than human perception itself. And of course, heightened senses. Everything that a wolf has, the ability to smell your fear from miles away, to hear your heart beating in your chest like a drum. Boom, boom, boom. These are perfect predators made to hunt its prey. But like all creatures of myth, they have to have some powerful weaknesses, the most famous of which is silver, the dreaded silver bullet or silver blade. These are tools of the werewolf hunter. Interestingly though, These weaknesses are relatively modern, and they were actually popularized and invented in the 1941 film The Wolfman. Before that, weaknesses kind of massively varied. Some had it down as mistletoe, rye, or even mountain ash was believed to repel them and create a safety barrier. This is also perfectly shown in the TV series Teen Wolf. In some French legends, a werewolf could actually be cured by simply calling its Christian name 3 times. The act of pulling a human soul back to the surface, but the simplest way to destroy one? Complete destruction. Decapitation followed by fire, the good old underworld way. Now that we know how to kill a werewolf, what exactly does this represent? The werewolf is terrifying, not just because it's monstrous, but because it's a walking metaphor. It represents the duality of human nature, our civilized self battling against the primal animalistic instincts we suppress on a daily basis. It's that feeling that wants to release, that wants to be free and finally say what you're holding back, but it's given teeth, claws, and it's just waiting to burst forth when you least expect it. It embodies the fear of losing control. We spent our whole lives building routines, following laws, and repressing our dark impulses and desires. The werewolf is the ultimate expression of losing that control. A time bomb ticking away. With every full moon, bam, the transformation occurs. The transformation is often linked to puberty, the agonizing, confusing change that turns one's familiar body into something strange, something far more powerful, governed now by terrifying, uncontrollable urges. And perhaps even more tragically, the werewolf is a victim. Unlike vampires who choose damnation, the lycanthropin is a curse, whereby you're bitten by bloodlines or simply by the wrath of gods. They are outsiders, trapped in a lonely existence. Knowing they'll hurt those that they love, they're cursed with the knowledge that when they finally transform, when they finally give in or it's forced upon them, they become the thing they fear the most, the thing they wanted to keep their family safe from. Beyond myth, history is peppered with stories of the real-life monsters that fueled the legend of the werewolf. None is more famous than my favorite tale, The Beast of Gévaudan. Between 1764 and 1767, the province of Gévaudan in southern France was terrorized by a creature or creatures described as massive wolf-like predators with reddish fur and powerful jaws. Over 100 deaths were attributed to the beast, and the attacks were so relentless that King Louis XV became involved. He sent professional hunters and soldiers to track down the beast and put an end to them. The beast was described as being extremely cunning, as it often targeted humans over livestock, and worse, it was impervious to gunshots. Eventually, 2 unusually large wolves were killed, one by a hunter named Jean Charleston with a silver bullet, further cementing the myth and the history of the werewolf. The attack ceased right after the wolves were killed, but to this day, no one knows what the beast truly was. Was it a wolfpack, a hybrid wolf dog, or something far worse? Some even suggest it was a serial killer using animals as a tool of destruction. Whatever it was though, the region was in terror, it was paralyzed in fear, and even today it serves as one of the most compelling real-world werewolf tales. And with such rich history and folklore, it is no surprise that the werewolf is a fan favorite amongst the supernatural community, and it all started with the release of The Wolfman in 1941 by Universal Studios. It set the modern rules for the creature. Lon Chaney Jr.'s portrayal of Larry Talbot, cursed by a bite and tormented by its own transformation, became an iconic image of the werewolf. This film gave us the pentagram as the mark of the beast and further solidified the way to kill it, its ultimate weakness, silver. And in the 1980s, werewolf became the frontrunner of horror, symbolizing the werewolf as a terrifying creature. With the release of The American Werewolf in London and The Howling, they both revolutionized the transformation of man to werewolf with special effects. these films made changing the centerpiece of horror, not just the beast hunting its victims from the shadows. Since then, the werewolf has had countless interpretations, from the metaphor of female puberty and ginger snaps to the action-packed mayhem of dog soldiers, and the movie series Underworld revolutionized what we thought a Lycaon is, and it's fantastic. Highly suggest it's the ultimate series for supernatural lovers, and now we can even find werewolves in video games like Skyrim and Bloodborne. Players can either choose to hunt the beast or become the beast. So wrapping it all up, from divine punishment in ancient Mesopotamia to the blood-soaked fields of 18th century France, from the silver screens of Hollywood, the werewolf endures. It's a monster that constantly evolves, but at its core, the terror remains the same. It's not just the fear of the wolf, it's the fear of the wolf inside you, the nagging suspicion that civilization is a thin veneer, and just beneath the surface lies a savage, snarling beast waiting for its moment to break free. The next time you feel an impulse you can't control, or anger rising somewhere deep inside of you, ask yourself, what's scratching at the door from within, and is it just waiting for the moon to rise? So if you stuck around to the end, thank you so much. You guys are truly awesome, and the likes and subscribes means the world. Comment what beasts you want me to cover next, as I truly enjoy covering anything scary, and I would really like to find out more creatures that I don't even know about. So let me know your favorite dodgy, surprise, weird, or even quirky monster that I can research and find more about.